Morning.
Hey! You're not excused.
Dad?
Why don't you put the mask on, Liam? Why be alone? You could have so many friends.
Welcome to Coffee with Chris. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm joined today by producer, director, and owner-founder CEO of Slate It Media, Daniel Dunn.
Hello.
Thank you for your time today, Daniel. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, Daniel, walk me through Slate It Media. What's the whole idea behind the company?
So the whole idea of Slate Media is, one, to bring our own movies out there, to bring basically stuff to the silver screen, and basically also bring basically a chance for the younger generation of film people a basically opportunity, because we basically put professionals and beginners to work together as one.
Like an internship or a co-op?
Well, kind of a little bit of both of that, but we're also basically trying to be honest, we're trying to stop people from paying all that money to film school. So if someone has that passion and drive and love for film, we're more than happy to bring them in and teach them from our experience, because myself, I have 13 plus years. My second in command has 21 plus years, and he's from LA.
Wow.
So
how does it work? Someone goes on to Slate It Media and says, "Hey, Daniel Dunn, I have a project. Let's build it together." Or do you say, "Hey, we have an open round of applications for those who are interested, apply"? How does that process work?
Well, there's a couple different processes of that. So yeah, if a writer comes up to me and wants to basically get a project out there, of course they're going to be the most of the executive producer putting the money in, but we'll also throw a couple dollars in to help out, and we'll also provide equipment, provide personnel from our personnel, and bring their project to life. But we also basically we do our own projects that we write in-house in studio. And also, if our team basically has a script, they can bring it to us and we'll basically greenlight it and make it a reality.
Now, what was the last project that Slate It Media did?
The last project that we did would be right now, that would be Sinful. We just released a trailer not too long ago.
Okay.
And we also worked on a project called Cry No More. And right now we're working on a project called Witch's Light.
And all of this is from the incubator of Slate It Media. Your team got together and said, "These are the projects we want to work on, and let's do it."
Yes. Witch's Light, we're actually a collaboration with another production called Within Light and Darkness Productions. And yeah, and also we're also collabing with a team back in London. We actually have people in London, England. We have people in Las Vegas, LA, and New York. But the team in New York in London is Phoenix Studios.
Okay. So you had mentioned that you've been doing this for 13 years. What was the light bulb moment for Daniel to say, this is the industry, I love it, this is where I got to be? What was that moment like for you?
Well, I watched one of my favorite movies of all time and realized the basically how it made me feel. The movie made me cry. It made me basically laugh. It made me enjoy it. And I saw the camera angles. I saw basically how the movie was made in such a beautiful piece that I'm like, I've always been interested in film, in art. What if I push that into film? And so far, I love every second of it. Have I given up? Yes, or once or twice. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna be full through. I'm fully in it now. I basically gave up having a full-time job to get into film.
So when you talk about you saw your favorite movie and that was kind of this inspiration and the love to drive in it, what was that movie?
Pay It Forward with Kevin Spacey and Helen Hunt.
Pay It Forward.
Yes.
You know, it's so beautiful that your favorite movie that got you into this is Pay It Forward, and you talk about getting the young filmmakers an opportunity to work with you, and you're paying it forward in the industry as a whole. That's so beautiful.
And at the end of the day, we want to be not just a film production, but we want to be a school. We want to open this to a school. We want to open this to a production. Even when the day I die, I want this to keep on going and basically be a free school for younger generations so they don't have to fork up thousands of dollars.
So when you talk about this hands-on experience, what are some of the early learning moments for you? I mean, we all try and fail, which is the first attempt in learning. What was that first bit for you where you did it and you're like, ooh, what was that moment?
Well, the thing is, like, I'll just go back to the beginning of my career. It's like I've been on shows, I've been on movies, and I have been injured several times on set. Like I have been paralyzed 3 days for 3 days in a row from a set.
Wow. What happened? I got to interrupt now and find out what happened.
I fell through a floor.
You fell through a floor.
Yep, fell through a floor, broke my ribs, and basically I was down. I got up the next day and I'm like, time for work. Oh crap. Fall back down. And I couldn't move for 3 days.
Jeez. Was this on your own project? Was this
no, this was someone else's project that didn't have insurance.
Oh.
If you're gonna have a set, always make sure you have insurance to cover mistakes like that.
And you've recovered 13 years later, and oh man, I'm sorry that happened to you.
And I've also been sparked by a light, and I was seeing Easter colors for 3 days.
It's like, you know, there's always time for safety is what I'm hearing. I mean, there's so many times where we're rushing to get that 12-hour day or that 14-hour day or that shot in, and you hear stories like this and you're like, oh, that'll never happen to me. Well, it did happen to you. And
I see injuries on set all the time. If they're not severe, just get back up, push yourself forward, because don't give up because of one little injury. I've been through life and death. At this point, I'm not even afraid of death anymore.
So when you talk about injuries on set and you see them, what's the common one? What's the, you know, slip, trip, fall, but what is the most common thing that you've seen?
This is the most common one that actually happened to me, actually, too. People will basically turn on the lights without calling sparking.
Okay.
And they will blind the actors, the crew, because that's a key point. It's like when you're on set, you want to call sparking, you want communication, you want to be loud. If you call sparking, if you call behind, then people know where you are on set.
Right. So when you say sparking, for those of us who don't know, we're basically talking about flipping a light switch.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip a light switch while the light is more or less right in your face. And me yelling on or sparking is, hey, look away.
Yeah. Like basically when you're right by the actor, just call sparking loud, just like sparking, so everyone hears you on the set. And then just like when you're turning off, striking. But the thing is, if you don't call that, you're going to blind an actor. You're going to make the movie or the short film or whatever it is basically postpone one more day, and they can't afford that.
So when we dive into this, we're now on set, we're working, we have our insurance, everyone's doing a fabulous job, and we've brought on Slate It Media to assist, help, whatever the case there is. In my mind, I'm picturing a lot of hand holding. Not, maybe I'll moisturize for you, Daniel, but the idea is that
Make sure you use ocean salt.
But are you bring the equipment? It's part of this package, yep. And now is it so basic as to, hey, this is where you hit record and this is how you look through the camera? Okay, so walk me through that part with Slate It Media.
We have basically different departments for different people. Like we have our lighting, we are gaffers and scripts that basically will set up the lighting to make sure the lighting looks good. We make sure all the marks are on the ground so that all the talent knows where they're going, they're standing, everything. And basically we make sure just like everything, the set deck is set and nice. Because the thing is, if we don't have a nice background, and also we could get in trouble because if there's an advertisement for anything that we don't have permission, that's a lawsuit right there waiting to happen. Yeah. That's why we have set deck. And
so talk to me about a set deck. Again, like some people aren't going to understand. So set decoration, making sure we're not seeing any logos or visible logos or signs and stuff.
Yeah, basically if I was on set and if this was not my brand right here, Slate It Media, basically I would have to put a black piece of tape right here to make sure that's covered.
Okay.
The most simplest stuff that you have to do, like make sure on set, it has to be fixed. It has to be covered. And so if you remember our Carly, they had the pair phones.
Oh, okay. So when we talk about this industry, and you said, you want your legacy to be this school of sorts and people to remember Slate It Media and get in there, your project that you're working on, that you have the trailer for, was that an in-house project? Did you have the opportunity to bring on any of the young filmmakers to contribute to this?
We brought on about 10 people that were learning film, basically onto our team. We had a team of 20 people. This was Sinful, and we were shooting in Barrie.
Wow.
And our other project in the same time frame was Cry No More, and that was shot in Vancouver.
Wow.
And we basically about 50% of the team were basically new people trying to get into the field.
Now, with these projects, Sinful, for an example, you're giving them, do they get, they get the credits at the end of as it rolls, but do these get loaded to IMDb? Are you signing off saying, yes, this person was here, like co-op hours?
We do all that. We give the people hours, we give people the IMDb credit, and we also give them a credit in the film. I don't care what the job is on set. If someone's even holding a can of Febreze, I'll still give them a credit.
We're not sponsored by Febreze, but I do love that note of that. Hey, if you're doing anything, we'll get it.
But I don't care what the position is on someone. I will give them a credit. I will always I believe people need those, like, basically respect, treat people the way you want to be treated. Because it's like, you want to give them a credit, you want to give them something to inspire them, to push them. And that is a great way to do that. And I also have my own thing I do that no one else does. I give the appreciation credit.
Oh, what's that?
Appreciation credit is basically a credit that basically I will make a prop. Basically, let's say if this person did a good job and great communication, great everything, I will actually make a prop that's immortalized into the film with their name on it. So my second command is Aaron Herzog, director of Within Light and Darkness Productions. And basically with him, I put the Herzog coffee bar.
Oh, okay.
So I made a chocolate bar. So anytime there's a chocolate bar in scene, now we could just use that chocolate bar.
Oh, that's really neat.
And it just basically, and then I give them a copy of it. It's like, here's your version. Now we have a couple versions for the film.
So it's kind of like this really cool Easter egg almost, but it's an Easter egg for the cast and the crew as opposed to necessarily us saying, "Oh, here's the new whatever."
It's mostly for the crew, but sometimes we'll make it for the talent as well.
That's really neat. That's, I haven't heard of a lot of people doing that, so that's actually really cool that Slate It Media does it.
And I'll grab something cool.
Oh, vinyl pop.
Of me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so I basically saw this opportunity during the pandemic. Slate It Media only technically is about 3 or 4 years old. We started during the pandemic, and during the pandemic, I actually became a prop master. And a prop master is basically one that designs the props for films and make sure that basically it's not copyrighted or anything, and make sure it just like looks good and it's ready for film. So I've made chocolate bars, I've made all sorts of stuff, and then I realized, Mike, what if I make this into a incentive?
Right.
Something to push people, something to just like make them laugh. So I just started doing that, not even telling anyone. I just put the prop on set and like, what's this? Why is there a chocolate bar with my... What? Where did this come from?
That's really unique. I like that. So talk to me a little bit about Sinful. Is this a short or a feature?
Sinful's a short. The master is about 15 minutes long. And basically it was a psychological thriller.
Okay.
With that project, it's basically a family moves to a new town, and they basically, because the husband did some stuff in the past that he shouldn't have, and basically he moved on, and they moved into town that basically, instead of showing their face, they show their sins on their face.
Okay.
And basically, so everyone wears a mask of some type. So it's gluttony, it's basically pride, and so forth. And it's also basically a piece of my puzzle that I'm making into my films, because I'm making more films to connect with that.
Oh, neat. Kind of. Oh, okay.
So all my films will have an Easter egg to another.
Neat. Now, when we look at this film school idea and we look at Slate It Media, I call you up, I got you on set. It seemed to be that there's a lot of, hey, here's some equipment and gear and how to. Do you also offer anything with writing and character building and stuff like that as well?
Like for the actors?
Well, if someone comes to you and says, hey, here's a script, let's make this. Do you ever review the script and say, hey, yes, I think these are changes and this is why?
I will never change the script completely, but I will inspire, like give ideas. And it's like, this is a couple of ideas I think would make the script better, but if you choose not to, it's up to you.
Sure.
But we're still down to film it. Like, as long as the story is flowing, it doesn't have anything that basically will cause backlash on basically them and ourselves, we're more than happy to film anything for anyone.
So looking back on your 13 years and we see these, the sparking stuff, is there anything that you could say, if someone said, hey, Daniel Dunn, you did it, I'm not you, I can't do it, what's that piece of motivation or inspiration that you would give them just to keep going?
Well, I would basically just look at them. It's like, because if they're a hard worker and if they have that passion, that drive, I'm going to tell them straight up, I'm like, don't give up. Don't give up. It's not worth it, because if this is really what you love, it's really what you drive for every day. Like, I've had friends of mine give up, but I've pushed them to get back into the field because I believe in them. And I basically every day on set, I make sure my team, my talent, everyone knows that I appreciate them and I basically believe in them. I want them to succeed. Even if they succeed over me, that's fine. The thing is, as long as their passion is out there and they're doing what they love, not working at any dead end job every day. Because dead end jobs will never get you anywhere. They'll just basically drive you to the grave. Wouldn't like doing something you love, it's gonna just make you so happy even in an afterlife.
Now, looking back on your 13 years,
Mhm.
is there something that you wish somebody said, hey, Daniel, do this or try that you're now doing, or you're saying, man, if I was only told this, that would have been the game changer for me? In your opinion, what would that be?
To be honest, I kind of wish I basically got into film a lot younger age. I wish I kind of pushed myself even in high school to get into film and even get into, to be honest, get into acting. And the thing is, just push myself out there and, like, even so, it's like, get into film, dress better, look better, care about yourself. Because
Sure.
I've been through, like, yes, I've been through some dark spots in my life. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest on that. And everyone does now these days. But it's not worth it. And same time, it's like, it's basically, that's my thing. It's like, I wish I just got into what I'm doing now, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, I've been working a long time in my life since I was 7 years old, to be honest.
Right.
But it's like, I just wish I just did more, and I wish my family was more into film than I just more into film in general. Because my brother was actually the first one that was supposed to be casted for Free Willy.
Well, okay, but he didn't get it.
He was supposed to get it, but we moved, and it just kind of conflicted with times.
Sure. And did your brother ever find his way back to acting, or is he in
Now
it? No.
he just looked at it as he kind of took it as a selfish point. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to do this just because my family wants me to.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to get into something, it's because I want to." I'm like, "Yeah, but you want to push yourself. You want to do something outside your boundaries." I actually got him on set a couple of years ago with one of my films, and he enjoyed himself. But then he just fell right out of it.
It's that saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And, love is never late, it's always on time, how, patriarchal that is. But so Daniel, if someone said to you, describe community to me, what would Daniel say this is what community means?
Community in general, or community to Slate Media?
That's a great question. However you choose to interpret it.
So, community to basically Slate Media in general would be basically respecting each other, basically enjoying each other's basically flaws and cons, I guess, pros and cons. I was to say that,
Sure.
and basically driving on people. Like, even if someone has weakness, inspire them to improve that.
Right.
Don't push them too hard, but love the people around you, enjoy the people around you, and even at times, like, have those times that are not just work but fun too. Like, I invite my crew over, I invite my talent over sometimes for board game nights,
Sure.
because it brings people together and makes people a lot better. Even on my sets, I have actually dance parties once in a while, just so people let loose to have fun, to relax, and just feel comfortable in their own shoes.
I like
Like,
that, feeling comfortable in your own shoes. I like that. I have time for one last question for you, Daniel. What makes Daniel Dunn smile?
what makes me smile? Bringing basically people's scripts to the basically to reality, making people just like enjoy the time they spend on sets, and just building on everything, and building on themselves and seeing them doing what they love. And oh yeah, I did forget one thing. We are also collabing with a company called Eagles Rising Productions Rising as well. They're awesome as well. I'm actually going to be their producer, their head producer.